It smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car. We're talking about a 3-year-old little girl. I need to find her.
I don't know what your involvement is, sweetheart. You're not telling me where she's at.
Because I don't know where she's at. Are you kidding me?
There was a bag of pizza for, 12 days in the back of the car full of maggots. It stunk so bad.
My husband's a deputy sheriff years ago, and the first thing he thought was human decomposition. I'm a nurse. I thought human decomposition.
Maybe someone put a body in the car after it was towed to the tow yard.
I love her and I support her and that I understand, and every day that goes by I know exactly how hard it is that she's giving up her life to protect her child. My daughter may have some mistruths out there or half-truths, but she is not a murderer.
There's no evidence that Casey has ever done any harm to her child.
I, as a mom, I know in my gut there's the feeling as a parent, you know certain things about your child, you can feel that connection. And I still have that feeling, that presence. I know that she's alive.
You slander this woman yourself in that publication. Isn't that true, yes or no?
No.
That's all I have.
Nope. You slandered me on TV.
The state announces tonight in a stunning about-face it will seek the death penalty against top mom Casey Anthony. With us now taking your calls is a man who searched the area, his own private search, at least 3 times, where little Kelly's body was ultimately found. Let's go out to Keith Williams. The defense is currently seeking his cell phone records and home phone records. Mr. Williams, I know you grew up in the area, but what led you to that general spot?
That general spot, actually, like I said, growing up in the neighborhood, you know, as kids, sometimes we used to go back in that neighborhood, back in the woods there and, you know, just run back in there messing around as being kids. So when I first heard about it, or actually when I first saw the Grandy Drive, you know, the street I grew up on, I actually just, you know, felt like, you know, that'd be the best area to check. So that's when I originally went back there, and I believe this was about August 5th, I'd guess around late July, beginning of August.
Wow. You know, I only wish that had dawned on police. Did you go before or after the floods?
No, it was damp at the time I first went out there. It was damp. But it wasn't flooded at the time. It was just pretty wet.
And you went back in nearly the exact location where her remains were found. Is it true that you were actually told to get out and don't come back?
Yeah, I ended up, after checking out there a couple times, there was a day that I went out there. You know, I guess I kind of took matters in my own hands. I was, you know, trying to be Mr. Investigator. But I actually went out there and looked, and you know, I ended up having I had a person from the school come out at first, and I thought they just wanted me to move my car, so I went and parked on the school, and next thing I know, police were out there trespassing me.
Well, let me ask you this. I guess you're prepared to be a scapegoat at the trial. You're the perfect candidate for the defense to point the finger at for murder.
Man, I don't really want to hear that. I mean, my
Well, I'm
girlfriend,
telling you right now.
I mean, my girlfriend didn't want me to be involved. You know, I was just doing something, you know, just felt right, you know. At the same time, I ended up meeting a lady who said her mom was a psychic and led me back out there. And, you know, I just did what I thought was right, and that's why I'm here talking to you right now.
You know, John Lusich, former investigator and author of Cyber Lies, a lot of people don't believe in hunches. I do.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of crimes have been solved because of hunches. This guy was doing something he felt. And by the way, Baez is not only going to have to go after this guy, he's going to go after Kronk. He's going to go after the officer that was fired. He's going to have so many things out there that I think that's part of why the state's, and write this down because I never agree with Leonard, but I agree with Leonard. The state's pushing it because they want her to actually plead so that something else doesn't come out to actually throw a wrench into the gears here.
To Dr. Zonshay Waugh, Union County, New Jersey medical examiner. Dr. Waugh, if Keith Williams had been successful way back in August, what condition would the body have been in?
The body should be also get very end stage of decomposition. Just remember, June, July is very hot months in Florida area. It's this kind of high temperature area, and 2 months is a very prolonged period of time. The body will be very decomposed.
Out to the line, Stephanie in Texas. Hi, Stephanie. Hold on, I think I lost Stephanie. Let's go to Charlene in Florida. Hi, Charlene.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
I'm good, dear. What's your question?
Oh, first we want to say you have gorgeous twins.
I'm blessed.
Yes, and we want to ask the question. If we remember correctly, originally Cindy said that she didn't know nothing about Zenaida. She didn't have any way to contact her, etc. But under oath just recently, she said she had phone numbers and addresses. Me, myself, as a grandmother, I would have been out looking for that chick.
To Ellie Jostet, our chief editorial producer, what about it, Ellie?
Well, Cindy Anthony did say she'd heard the name Zanny. She had not heard the name Zenaida Gonzalez, but she'd heard the name Zanny for a while back, although she says she never talked to her, never spoke to her on the phone, never met her, never dropped Kaylee off at her house.
Out to Carrie in California. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Nancy. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for calling in.
My question is, from day one, it's been Zanny that kidnapped the baby. So how can they go from that to trying to pin it on someone else?
Excellent question. When your back's against the wall, you do all kind of things, Carrie in California. But back out to Kathy Bellich with WFTV. Who are the people in line to be scapegoats? We understand the defense has just issued this motion for cell phone records, home phone records of nearly a dozen people. Who?
That's right. Her ex-lovers, her parents, her brother, Deputy Richard Kane, who was just fired last week, the meter reader Roy Kronk, who found the remains, Keith Williams. And from what we understand, you know, he may not know what he's looking for at this point. He may just want all these records to see if there's anything that he can use. Who knows?
Let's take a look at the list. This was just filed. The defense wanting cell phone and home records for the meter reader Roy Kronk, Jesse Grunn, former lover, Tony Lazaro, former lover, Richard Kane, Cindy Anthony, George Anthony, Lee Anthony, Ricardo Morales, Amy Huizenga, former best friend, Dominic Casey, private eye, James Hoover, private eye, and Keith Williams, who is with us tonight. He had a hunch and conducted at least 3 private searches of that area where little Kelly was ultimately found. Unleash the lawyers, Sue Moss, Alex Sanchez, Joseph Lawless. Where are they headed, Moss?
When you've got nothing to lose. They're hoping beyond hope that somehow in all these records, maybe there's some reference to something that sounds like a Zanny or a Zenaida or something, but they'll find nothing.
To Alex Sanchez, there is a very good chance if Tot Mom's statements to police are suppressed for any reason, the jury may never even hear about Zanny the nanny originally being named.
Well, you know, that's what the defense is hoping in this case. They're making applications to suppress statements because they don't want those statements to come in to be used against her at trial. And if they succeed, they've accomplished quite a lot.
But Joe Lawless, I doubt that they're going to be suppressed, at least those statements, because those statements she made, she was not in custody. Remember, she was leading police on that wild goose chase all around where she said she worked.
Yeah, that's one of the big problems that she has, that there are so many statements out there. Some of them they're going to get in. I think what they're looking for with these records is just to see what's out there. I mean, this isn't just about, I wish I was as sure as the evidence as Sue was. There may be evidence in there that the defense can use to establish reasonable doubt, and it's a legitimate source of inquiry.
To Laura Lee in Oklahoma. Hi, Laura Lee. What's your question, dear?
Hi, Nancy. I have a question about the video.
Okay.
I watched the video of her the day of the arrest. I could not believe how sophisticated she tried to come off with the police officers and try to outsmart them. What I was wondering was, when and if are we going to see the video of the day that she heard the body had been found?
What about it, Mark Williams? Will we ever see that video?
It's tough to say. I know we'd all like to see that video. We've heard what Lieutenant Tammy Unser had to say. Right now, there's a motion in front of Judge Stan Strickland to suppress that video altogether. The hearing date for that motion has not been made. It's going to be interesting to see what the judge has to say in that case.
Everyone, we are taking your calls live as we go to break tonight.